Hello, my name is Simone+Frank. Normally I don't rely on the kindness of strangers, but I need your help. I've been invited by Shanghai Youth Exhibition Company Limited to exhibit in Shanghai, Nantong, and Chengdu from April 28th to July 10th, 2013. Normally, in order to finance my art career, I work full-time at another job. I'm currently employed in the film industry as a performer and a painter. But work has slowed down and my income has lessened due to complicated health issues. My budget is $20,000. I prefer not to look at my life as tragic. I prefer to look at it as a life filled with possibilities. But in July 2001, I suffered a near-fatal reaction to antibiotics referred to as TEN. In my case, the reaction caused 80% of my skin to burn, both externally and internally. I was treated in the burn unit of Sunnybrook Hospital in Toronto, Canada. For 2 months of that 3-month stay, I was in a drug-induced coma. I had to learn to walk again, to breathe again, to stand again. 4 years later, I was diagnosed with lupus, an illness that affects the immune system. It presents a lot like rheumatoid arthritis, but can affect the organs as well as the mind. I sued in relation to the drug allergy and won a small amount equivalent to about a 2-year salary. My lawyer told me that had I waited and the case gone to court, the amount would have quadrupled. But after 5 years of struggling, I settled. I used the money to pay for my education, subsistence, health expenses, and then as a gift, I invited my mom to Italy for a vacation as a thank you for paying her back for taking me in when the world made little sense. It was my mother who encouraged me to return to school. I graduated with a Dean's List standing diploma in advertising from George Brown College School of Design. That accompanies my degree from Ryerson School of Fashion in 1993. After graduation from George Brown, I limped around the store in a couple of retail jobs. Sadly, I had graduated into a recession again and made very little money. Then finally, I was hired at an advertising design agency, only to find that that company bounced paychecks very often, to the point that the senior designer was owed 6 weeks' pay. When I found that out, I left. In February of 2011, I lost my mom to cancer. When my mom died, a friend of mine told me, when your parents die, it makes you want to be a better person. I agree wholeheartedly. I used the training I received in my education to satisfy my dream of being an artist. I worked so diligently on creating a great life despite everything that I became extremely ill and was hospitalized recently for 6 weeks. In 2011, months after my mom died, I learned that my bones were deteriorating. That news led to a diagnosis of severe depression. People tried to convince me that it was all in my head. Adding to my depression was the news that the drug I am now taking to treat lupus, an illness that is treatable, has a side effect of cancer, an illness that is fatal, usually, right? I have difficulty resolving the fact that I may die from the effects of a medicine that is supposed to make me comfortable. I have seen naturopaths, homeopaths, many specialists, and struggle to stay healthy. The likelihood of getting cancer is small, I'm told, as was the likelihood of 80% of my skin burning off after taking 9 antibiotics to prevent a gum infection. That's how I got TEN. Despite that, I work hard. The hard work in secret paid off. On Christmas Day, after a visit with my estranged father of 20 years, who suffers from Parkinson's disease and diabetes, I received an invitation to exhibit my work in China in the spring. I had no idea how I'd pay for it, but I accepted. Any funds raised will go towards travel expenses, brokerage fees, legal costs, language courses, and items needed for business presentation. I would really like to be able to pay for my niece to join me. She is 24 and has had several bouts with ill health. She spent time in hospital last year, and she misses my mother as much as I do. Shanghai Youth Exhibition Company Limited has suggested that I reduce my trip to 5 days in order to reduce my travel expenses. But that would mean that I'd lose the opportunity to meet potential clients and possibly to make more sales. I am asking for donations in exchange for pieces of art. If you send a $50 donation, I will email you a screensaver. When you donate $100, I will mail you a print produced with coffee. And with a donation of $1,000, you will receive a wire sculpture in the mail. If you donate $10,000, you will receive this painting called Go Woman. If the monies raised aren't enough for the trip, they will be used to fund some other projects I'm working on. The publication of No More Kissing Frogs, which is now in the hands of a publisher. I'm also hoping to turn it into a graphic novel and a screenplay. A book called Morphine Dreams, which I plan to turn into a film. And a graphic novel called A Soulful Seniors Moment, which is meant to raise funds for Mid-Toronto Community Services, an organization in Toronto that supports the elderly. I'm also working on an installation called Get Up, inspired by working with Lawrence Fishburne on a television set in Toronto. It speaks about depression and the way out of it. Another fundraising event I'm doing is on Thursday, April 4th. I'll be exhibiting a tribute to Whitney Houston and closing a tribute to Ella Fitzgerald at my friend's music store called Mojo Music, located at 430 Spears Road in Oakville. You can read about it on my blog, simone+frank at blogspot.ca. Please use the number 4. Please donate if you can. Going to Asia for this exhibition would mean the world to me. I'd be able to share my work and ideas worldwide. That would be such a huge accomplishment. It would help me to forget my ill health and to concentrate on contributing to the world as an artist. The best thing one of my doctors ever told me was, there is always a way. And I believe her. This is me just out of the hospital, and this is me before I went in, and this is me now. Please help me get to Asia. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for your time.